So I recently took a course where I was told by a sales rep that the LPVO ends the debate between LPVOs and red dots. This is the go-to optic. I'll give you my thoughts in today's video. So I tend to think in terms of law enforcement or home defense civilian mindset when it comes to rifles. Like, when am I most likely going to use this rifle? Living in Ohio, I don't have as much of a need for a variable optic or a precision optic necessarily. So that should be, first and foremost, the one question you have for yourself. Do I have space to even need a little bit more zoom on my optic? For me, the red dot, 200 yards and in, feel very confident with that. Could I go out even further? Sure. But why would I be? That's a question that you should ask yourself. Do I need more than what the red dot allows me to be able to shoot? However, the question was posed, should law enforcement be switching over to the LPVOs? The beauty in the red dot is going to be its simplicity. We're talking 30,000 hours for this Aimpoint Duty RDS that I have. Some go even longer. Very rugged, almost to the point where these are ballistic rated. These are going to hold their zero for the most part if you have a good mount on the rifle. Really no need to worry about this thing. Once it's mounted, once it's zeroed, it's pretty much good to go. Check it once a year and it gives you the peace of mind that this thing's zeroed, ready to go. It's also visually going to be incredibly easy to pick up. We're talking about a single or two lenses on either side that are just clear. When you raise the rifle up into view, you see a red dot and pretty much nothing else. You can see non-dominant eye looking past the optic, threat focused, you see a dot appear. If we're talking about performance and we really want to measure our performance compared to an LPVO, doing quite a bit of shot timer work, the red dot is far faster, which I found to be surprising, given the glass is very clear, even on the Strike Eagle, which is a much cheaper option, very clear, but still far faster for me to be able to process the information in front of me, see the dot, and be able to pull the trigger and get a good effective hit. When seconds matter, and even milliseconds matter, I really trust my life with the red dot as it pertains to my particular context. And I don't see why I would ever choose an LPVO over a red dot. But let's get into some of the pros and cons of the LPVO. Let me cover the cons first for the LPVO, and then we'll talk about some of the good. So we're talking about significantly less battery life compared to the red dot. 30,000 hours with that Aimpoint, and there's going to vary based on what brand you go with and what model. But for most, we only have 150 hours in an LPVO, and that's going to vary. The other issue is going to be weight. You feel this thing when it's mounted to your rifle. The Duty RDS, again, I'm using that as an example, but for the most part, they're going to be relatively similar, 5.7 ounces for that red dot, compared to over 30 ounces for the Strike Eagle. That's going to vary again based on brand and model. Significantly heavier, and I'm telling you right now, you do feel it when you are shooting this thing for a long period of time. Dry firing, doing a lot of practice, CQB work with it. I notice when I have my Daniel Defense with the Strike Eagle on top of it. In general, LPVOs cost a lot more money. The benefit you get of the zoom compared to a red dot plus a magnifier might make you lean towards the LPVO, but for the most part, you're talking several $1,000s to purchase some of these. In this case, $500 to purchase the Strike Eagle, same price for me to purchase my Duty RDS. So for the same price, I feel like I get a lot more for my particular context with the red dot. The last con that I'll kind of cover is going to be parallax or shadowing when you are presenting this rifle. This is significant if you have a cheaper option like I have here with the Strike Eagle. The glass gets much better if you purchase something like a Razor, or EOTech has a ton of great options as well. Those higher end models will have much less parallax, but it still has parallax to where when you raise that rifle into view and you're looking through your optic, there's a lot more going on. Not only from the standpoint of the lens, everything covering your eyes compared to a micro red dot being a lot smaller signature when you're trying to focus on the threat, it's going to be also that parallax, that shadowing, that distortion. Obviously, that's something that is going to take time. It's going to add time to our shot groups, and that could mean, obviously, much more severe effects. When I need to touch something much further out, that's where this thing really shines, and the ability to move in and out of that is great. You mount a RMR or any other optic on here, red dot, if we're talking pistol, micro red dots, that is a great way to complement the benefits of the LPVO by throwing another red dot on here so that you still have the capability of just picking up that dot for much closer targets. The question comes down to why? Do you live in Wyoming? Do you live in Idaho? Do you have a lot of land? Is there a reason you need an optic to be able to zoom in on your property? There are definitely reasons. If you're more compact in more of suburban neighborhood, or houses are stacked on top of each other in an inner city, this is going to be something that is going to be far less needed, in my personal opinion. I thought it was interesting taking the class, having somebody say that cops should be using LPVOs. There's definitely a time and place for it, but when we have designated snipers or we even have DMRs with LPVOs, makes a lot of sense for that context. But for the most part, when we're talking patrol rifles, they're sitting in your car and the distances that most cops are encountering, I would say that the red dot shines in terms of ruggedness, in terms of battery life, and in terms of my ability to see the dot and pull the trigger much more effectively than with the parallax issues that we see with the LPVO. If you guys disagree with anything I said in this video, please leave a comment down below. Let's start the discussion. Just wanted to touch on this subject because I do have both, I like both, but if I'm gonna trust my life with one, it's gonna be the red dot. Let me know what you think down below, and we'll see you on the next video.
I have one.
Yeah, go ahead.
It looks better on TV.
It does look better on TV. Good stuff.